all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Coming in at number 10, we have 21 Jump Street. It's just a really good instance of how to do a remake right. The sequel is good. It's really funny. The dialogue's great. It does kind of play like action and violence for humor.
When did I get stabbed? That's awesome! Yeah!
At number 9, we have Dumb and Dumber, which is a hilarious movie starring Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels as two friends who travel across the country to find a girl, and they have a suitcase full of money. It's a pretty complicated plot, but if you like ridiculous, silly humor, then you're definitely gonna love Dumb and Dumber, because it's hilarious, and the acting is so good between the two people, because you actually believe that they're like legitimately stupid.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
And it's just so good, and how they annoy all the other characters and all the situations they get into, and they're just completely oblivious to all of it. It's a very good movie, and that's why I made our top 10 list.
Coming in at number 8, we have Airplane, which uses satire and slapstick humor, and it's very fast-paced. It does very like visual gags.
And I can't live with the man
that likes Airplane.
What a pisser.
And at number 7, we have one of my personal favorite comedy movies, Tommy Boy, starring Chris Farley and David Spade, and they're both very funny in it. It's about Chris Farley's character inherits a bankrupt company, and he has to fix it and make it better, and it's just hilarious because the acting is so good, and they have such good chemistry together that I really love this movie. And it has some famous scenes in it, some hilarious, some of the funniest moments in any movie ever. So if you haven't seen this movie, you definitely should check it out.
And then for number 6, we have Borat. 2 words to describe it.
Very nice.
Sacha Baron Cohen probably has his best role here. He's done a lot of things, whether it's scripted or just kind of reactionary, and he does the craziest, most offensive things, and you just see how people react. And the fact that it is like so offensive makes it like a perfect modern comedy, and that's why we have it here at number 6 on our list.
And at number 5 on our list, we have The Hangover, which is an extremely well-known comedy starring Bradley Cooper, Ed Helms, and Zach Galifianakis. And just the chemistry between the three of them is what makes it hilarious, with Bradley Cooper's cool guy character, Ed Helms' dentist character, and Zach Galifianakis as the character who just wants to fit in. And the whole situation that they have to retrace their steps from when they blacked out that night in Las Vegas is hilarious, and Ken Jeong's hilarious in it. It's just an overall really good movie, and it makes you just never stop laughing during this movie. So that's why it got number 5 on our list.
Then for number 4, we have Anchorman, starring Will Ferrell, which follows the story of these newscasters. It's hilarious. There's a lot of slapstick again, very witty humor with a lot of jokes. There's this one fight scene which is like classic visual humor and with violence and whatnot. And then and I'd say a movie like this works about
60% of the time. It works every time.
But overall, it was really good.
At number 3, we have Napoleon Dynamite, which is a hilarious movie. Definitely one of my top 3 favorite comedies, which is why it's number 3 on this list. Starring Jon Heder as Napoleon Dynamite, his acting is amazing, because he's a normal guy, but the way he acts as Napoleon Dynamite, so awkward and so hilarious, it's unbelievable. And Efren Ramirez as Pedro is amazing as well. Aaron Rule as Kip is so good, and just how everyone acts so mellow and so awkward in the entire movie is what makes it so funny. Like, you almost wouldn't realize it's supposed to be funny unless you knew. It's just such a well-made movie. The editing is so good. The jokes are so good. The editing is so good. And there's a famous scene where Napoleon Dynamite dances, which you should just watch the movie just for that scene. It's so funny. And that's why it made top 3 on our list.
Then for number 2, we have Will Ferrell again in Step Brothers, which has him and John C. Reilly. and they make a great pair. It's very funny, they're very loud, they speak whatever's on their mind. Their relationship really adds to the humor, and the fact that they don't always get along. How I said like Anchorman was very good with the visual humor, especially when they had like a fight scene. This is even better. It probably has one of the best like comedy fight scenes. And overall, it's just a really, really funny movie. It's on Netflix, so you should check it out.
At number 1 on our list is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And the Monty Python group were absolute comedic geniuses. And this movie is evidence of that. The dry wit and humor of this movie, which is like a satirical telling of King Arthur and his knights finding the Holy Grail. The editing is so funny.
Almost as good as mine.
The wit is so funny, how it breaks the fourth wall is so funny, and there's so many classic jokes in this. It's probably my favorite comedy movie of all time, and that is why we ranked it the number 1 movie.